What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 7 of
GrowthArtic.
Now you're very lucky for the number 7 because we are at Pirate Summit, the Woodstock for startups in Cologne.
The most beautiful city of the world.
That's correct. And today we're going to learn about how we learn.
We learn.
The books we like to read, the methods we use to keep on improving. And so let's hit it right up. So what are your favorite methods to learn? Just if you would enumerate 2 or 3 that you prefer, and then
Yes. So maybe we start with number 1. That's the idea where why we're starting this episode today is talking to other people, to other growth hackers, to other entrepreneurs, to other people doing the same stuff like we do.
Yeah, I was just talking to Ziamak from Ticket Runner, who is very experienced in Facebook ads, and he said, "Hey Ben, have you tried this, that?" And now I'm going to go home and practice. Yeah.
And I had a talk in the morning where somebody, the question was for e-commerce retention, and then the question comes up: if you are able to, I'm pretty sure you can answer. So if you are able in Facebook ads to say, okay, we make 3 months break between. So it's a little bit hard to explain. I would say if you have an e-commerce store for running shoes, and you buy today, and I want to retarget you not tomorrow or next week, I want to retarget you in 4 months.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a question that came up, and I thought, okay, yeah, it is possible, but I've never done this. Why not? So we have to go home now and to practice.
Yeah, I regularly do that I exclude people who have purchased in the last 30 days or whatever is convenient. So I let them loose for the new acquisition retargeting funnels, and they are just happy, they can enjoy the product. They get set on another series of retargeting ads where I try to help them understand the product better, where I try to have them review the product on Amazon or in the stores. There are much more valuable things to do once people have bought a product. Yeah. So how did that come up? By talking to other people.
Yeah,
right?
talking to other people. Just randomly, standing together. Okay, what's your challenge? We're doing this. Then I had an idea, and then we talked about this, and then we come up. Okay, that's something new for me, and I think there would not have. There was no chance to get it from a book or from somebody. Somewhere else, so that was quite awesome. So talking to other people.
And I like to ask them, for example, what kind of articles or books would you recommend to me, which are 2 other favorite ways for me to learn. I'm a really avid reader. I think I listen to at least like 2 to 3 hours of audiobooks per day. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. 2 to 3 hours of audiobooks.
2 to 3 books.
No. I don't. I've reduced the number of books I read because, as you said before, you have to have a balance between consumption and creation, and theory and practice, right? You have a strong opinion on that.
Yeah, that's exactly my opinion. So there are some people hang around say, okay, you have to read one book a day or something. Or I say, okay, exactly this balance. I think it's really important in learning, reading, hearing, listening, whatever. But in the end, 1 hack a day. That's what I always telling my boot campers. 1 hack a day, you have to execute.
That is already so much.
And 1 a day would mean 365 a year. And that's something, if you do 365 ideas a year, I think it is pretty much.
There's an amazing ebook running around the internet called 100 Days of Growth, and they have a different growth hack every day, which are pretty unique, and you can just follow along. But finding growth hacks is not the big problem. They are around building for yourself a system for learning, for practicing. That is the most important part. And then I just try to learn what I'm currently practicing and trying to improve on. I used to dump lots of information on me, and just like sponging it up, and once in a while another idea of my own would regurgitate out of that waterfall. I try to reduce that, and now try to just practice.
That's it. So maybe there's just, if you went out of growth hacks, go to growthhackers.com
Tap on the community link in the navigation.
Tap on the community link. There are so many ideas, so many growth hacks for email marketing, social media, and whatever. Yeah. They are curated by the community. So if you went out of growth hacks, just have a look in the internet, and you will find everything. That's not the main problem what I see.
But sometimes, like if you're not as experienced, like we have the advantage of looking back of like 6 to 8 years of doing this shit, and we just need to hear a growth hack and we are able to implement it. But what for people that are not that advanced yet? Yeah. So what would you recommend to them? They see like the amazing Facebook ads growth hack, they can't pull it off. They don't even have a Facebook.
I would say they have to start. They should go to a meetup, maybe the Pirate Skills meetup, to hear there. You meet other people who have the same problems. You hear a lot of systems, a lot of hacks, and a lot of ways how to start build landing pages, how to get the first visitors on your website, how to get the first conversions. I think it's always the same methodology. You have to follow when you start a new idea or a new business. So it's always the same in the beginning. I think we have a lot of experience in this, but I think you can learn it. And there are so many YouTube videos outside where the people or really experienced entrepreneurs are telling their stories. That's something I really into right now. Not to hear growth hacks or marketing stuff or product stuff, just hear other entrepreneurial stories. That's something I really love, and not always so famous ones. Just like we. So our stories are here on the Pirate Summit. Just hearing the people or listening to the people's story. That's really something I like.
What I would always recommend is like just have a project that you can practice on. Like have a real current thing. You want to learn SEO, start a niche website about the topic you're into. That allows you to train content creation, train you to do SEO, to do AdWords, to do Facebook ads. And when you get into those topics, just use the tutorials those platforms usually have. I see lots of people buying expensive courses on Facebook ads, for example. But Facebook has the best Facebook ads course. If you go to facebook.com/blueprint, there is a sophisticated choose your own journey course experience with the most cutting edge content that you can imagine on Facebook ads. Yeah, and people just don't use it. Or the Google Analytics Academy. Yeah, that just teaches you everything step by step, and instead people buy the $500 course where they just listen and consume and never just do. Yeah, so use the resources that are available. If not there, then go to YouTube, go to Udemy, where you can get cheap courses, and just search the internet and ask people like us for advice.
What about books? So what are your favorite books?
So my favorite book for getting a good overview of marketing is Traction by Gabriel Weinberg.
Dr. Go.
Yeah, and just Samaras. Yeah, he's the founder of Dr. Go. It gives you the overview of like 19 marketing channels and just the 20% and best practice examples that you need to get 80% out of that channel. Yeah. And then, what would you recommend?
So I think one of the first real entrepreneurial books was Kopf, schlägt, Kapital. So it's German from Günter Faltin.
Yeah.
There was a book where you can learn how to start an idea with components. So that I think the main idea of the book is just you don't have to implement to build everything by yourself. You just can take the tools to build it and to start it the lean way. So not that big. Like your
the German lean startup.
I would say that. So that was something I really learned a lot from.
Yeah.
And you always say I'm the product and the team guy. So a book was what was really important for my career was how to build products that people love.
Yeah.
I think it's Roman Pichler. I'm not quite sure. Just Google for how to build products that people love. That was like how to get the customer needs, how to build MVPs, how to build up an agile team structure, but not that in theory. It was just really practical things, and that was the one for if you're working for a corporate or in a team. I think it's really valuable. This book.
If you have a bigger company, for example. One book that really describes the growth hacking process, the experimentation and creating experiments and validating those, describes it really well. is called Hacking Growth by Sean Ellis, exactly.
True.
And another book is Scaling Up by Verne Harnish that is much more focused on your areas of expertise, like team processes and doing growth from a much more higher perspective. Yeah, so those two are more interesting if you have a bigger company.
I would say for the beginners and the advanced is the 4-hour work week.
Oh yeah.
So really, for us, I think it's really old stuff. But I would recommend to everybody who's coming to this entrepreneurial business, start with the 4-hour work week because it's an awesome read.
Don't get weird about the title. It's a stupid title.
Yeah,
Tim Ferriss agrees with that. It's much more about productivity and doing the best you can with the time you have than just working 4 hours per week.
Yeah.
So putting 40 hours per week into 4 hours. Yeah. It's very inspirational. I think it's the book that has led to more entrepreneurs today than any other, I would say. Yeah, especially in our generation.
So what about conferences? So do you go to conferences without having
only if I get
there?
to wear the pirate patch here. I learned a lot when we were in Slovenia. That was really interesting. Going to conferences always.
So it was in Orbit 2018, taking part in Portoroč in Slovenia. I think was it March or April? Mm-hmm. Maybe you can check it out for next year.
Yeah. That's always like the speakers you can learn from there. Like the woman who did the viral content website. That was awesome. Like going away from the whole analytical part that I represent a lot to the creative part and combining those worlds, but much more heavy on the creative part. Yeah, and the PR thinking side of things, the storytelling. That was fucking brilliant.
What do you think about German conferences? Are there any German conferences where you say, okay, that's worth it to go?
The OMR, Online Marketing Rockstars.
I've never been there, sorry.
Yeah,
I heard a lot of.
I saw the talks like online. What did you recommend in Germany?
Maybe I've been to the Bits and Pretzels 2 years ago.
Was it good?
It was awesome. There was a keynote presentation by Kevin Spacey. So he was allowed to do this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And this speech was so awesome because there were 4,000 people sitting in the crowd, in the audience, mixed people, so startups, young people, old people, investors, millionaires. Yeah. And he made it after 1 hour speaking that everybody went out so motivated. It was brilliant.
Like watching talks from conferences. For example, I like the vibe that is going on with the MicroConf. That is an international conference for startups or businesses that prefer to stay small and that want that rather focus on revenue per employee, than in just vanity metrics like overall revenue. That really try to keep stuff simple. And they have a specific mindset. If you just search for MicroConf on Vimeo, for example, you get most of the talks from the past year, not from the current year. And just get that input and start to implement that in your projects. That's super.
I have one more. So I told you in the former episodes that when I started setting up teams, Trusted Shops, so my old company, they sent me to a German Führungskräfte-Training, that means leadership training, and I didn't want to do that. But after 2 hours, I got because the coach was really good, and I had 6 days of leadership training, and that was something I really loved. That was so much reflection time for me. So coach reflection time to do this. Okay, I do it like this, and how to do all the meetings right. If you do the talk to employees about the salary, about the problems, how to bring them on focus again, and so on and so on. That was something was really valuable for me. So really expensive coaching, but in this case it was really worth it for myself.
I think the more advanced you become, the more you need those people actually challenging your status quo beliefs, because you can make really big jumps if you reflect what you have thought about to be like the truth, and think about your own behavior again, see how you can improve, and that really cause the big jumps, in your performance. It might be expensive, but like for me to learn something new in terms of performance advertising, it's hard. I need to find somebody who can really call out my own bullshit. Maybe somebody like you, or where you just bring the different perspective. But it's not just important like to get the numbers right, but to get the team right and the organizational part and that part stuff that is out of my zone of thinking, and that levels me up again.
Maybe one topic more, what my mind is, so we are always, so I think we are both, we are good in coaching others, but for myself there are so many cases where I think, okay, if you ask me something, I'm pretty confident to answer, but when I think about my domains, so where I do my business with, so for my Growth Hacking Academy stuff and so on, I think I'm at the point now, after 1.5 years, I want to ask somebody else, because I know that it's not perfect, that's okay for today, but I don't find the solution for myself. Do you know what I mean?
Can you please say hello to the camera? Look at that awesome beard. That was Bruno. That was Bruno.
So that's something where I want to ask you, or maybe a guy for personal branding, to get some coaching or something, just to get a reflection from outside. Because only because you are good in coaching others doesn't mean that you do everything perfect by yourself. That's something that's really important.
Maybe to give a concrete example, for me, I'm pretty weak at PR.
Good example.
I always like to push numbers and push €1 in, get 150 out or two. I'm super happy with that business model. It feels like playing World of Warcraft. And
feels like.
feels like. And but I'm really weak at PR. But I've seen some projects now that I'm working with where PR just brought it up to a different scale. So I went about, okay, how can I learn PR? So the first thing I did was just basic Googling, getting some overview of the lay of the land, which was interesting. Then I registered for 2 meetups on that topic in Cologne. There I connected with specific people, the speakers and the other people there. They gave away some worksheets. Now I started to implement stuff for pirate skills, like creating a media kit.
That's great. That would be the first growth hack for PRs. I would recommend.
But I just try, and now I see like, how many PR mentions can I get for this or that, and how did it work for me?
So I met, I think 1 hour ago, I met a guy from the local newspaper here, right here. And he came to me and said, I heard about you, can you tell me a great story we can bring to the local newspaper here around? And what I answered was, so it's exactly the newspaper my parents are reading at home. So if I can get a PR message in this newspaper, I'm done for the next 3 years. You see? So was my way for PR. But you said you made it to 2 meetups for PR. So in the end, what did you do? Did you do the press kit already?
Yes, I'm working with that right now with Nea, and I did a bit of my stuff. What
Execution.
I do, for example, I exported all my LinkedIn journalist connections. I did the profile scraping, the stuff I love to do, so I get most of their phone numbers and see what paper they are working with, to see which people I have already relationships with. So when you learn something new, you can bring your old skills to this new arena, and the PR people don't think about it that way, and the performance people don't think, and you can be like together and hopefully make it better. Than before.
I have a question.
Last one, it's already 90 minutes in.
We're talking about our growth stuff, about marketing, about product. Do you have something in your mind what you want to learn outside this class right now?
I'm currently have started a new project to get more into front-end, back-end development again.
Nice. How do you do this?
Yeah. I have a
And why?
booked a Udemy course. I had one in the past, and I just want to do that. So I want to become more on the. I want to go to the creative side of things. I'm really good at making a product known, and selling it, but I'm not good at creating the product. And I want to strengthen the skills that make me independent to create products, and then use my marketing skills to do that. So that's why I'm learning developing. And I think like it's something I want to be able to do in 5 years. Okay. I don't want to be code illiterate in 5 years.
Okay, I got it. But it's still our growth shit. Is there something outside of this box?
Dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah,
That's something I want to hear. Not dancing, but...
My wife and I, we go to a dancing school every Monday evening, and we practice.
Hopefully my wife won't hear this episode.
I swear, I get so many hits on my shoulders from guys where the girlfriends of my friends, they tell it to them, and then those guys come to me and they're like, Ben, what the fuck?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to stop here now.
So what do you practice? What do you learn outside of the box?
Maybe it's a little bit stupid, but I learn.
Trust me, dancing.
I tried to learn breathing out.
Breathing out.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because I heard in a podcast or something that not breathing in is what makes you relaxing. It's breathing out. And I try to 4 or 5 times a day just to sit or to stand anywhere, just breathing out 10 times.
Yeah.
And it works. It's just a habit, but it works to reflect a little bit and just to calm down a little bit.
To get more oxygen in.
So that's not something, it's not learning, it's finding the habit to do this.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's okay.
So please tell us in the comments what you're trying to learn at the moment, or where you would like our input on, like books and article and podcast recommendations from us. As you know, you can now find us on YouTube. You can find us on iTunes in the podcast category. You can find us on Spotify now.
That's new.
Spotify was just released. Yeah, we have 7 episodes out there. So
Stitcher,
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Those are the places where you can hit us. Please subscribe and like if you like what you have heard so far, and get in touch with us. We'd really like to talk to you guys.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.